Let's first take a look at the final product. Each floor has a question waiting for players to answer. After answering correctly, a portal to the next level will appear, and reaching the top floor will complete the challenge. Firstly, as this tutorial is based on a single-player mode, we need to tap on multi-select, select 19 spawn points, and tap delete, leaving only one spawn point. Next, delete the clearance zone. Select the floor and tap zoom free scale in the toolbar to reduce the floor to the appropriate size. Then, tap copy to duplicate more floors. You can create as many layers as you want. For this tutorial, we are demonstrating with 3 layers, so you only need to copy 2 more floors. Then, move the copied floors above the floor with the spawn point, making sure complete. We can start thinking about designing the puzzles. For ease of instruction, I will use simple math problems as puzzles. They are what is 1 plus 1, and what is 2 times 6. When building your map, you might want to consider using more complex math problems or numerical puzzles. Firstly, we need to place a billboard to clearly state the question for the current level. Please tap on Mechanism function. Find and place a billboard directly in front of the spawn point to ensure that players can see it immediately upon entering the game. Then, tap on in the text content area. Next, we also need to tap on Mechanism, Logic, find and place a password lock. Tap on More and first turn off the Show During Gameplay option. Name the trigger event Question 1. Due to character limits, Question 1 is being entered as Q1. Then tap to create event, and set the password to the answer for the first question. 2. Name the input correct event as correct for Question 1, then tap to create event. Name the input error prompt as wrong answer, and tap again to create event. Now that the question is set up, how do we get players to trigger it? Clearly, we need to use in trigger area. Tap on Mechanisms Logic, find and place in trigger area. Then tap on More and set the event on area entry to Question 1, and remember to turn on the show during gameplay. Although this setup will indeed trigger the question, currently answers correctly or incorrectly, there will be no reaction. Therefore, we need to introduce the gate of passing and the motion. First, tap on Mechanism, Gameplay and find and place a gate of passing. Rotate the gate of passing to be parallel to the ground and move it to a position that can snugly fit against the back of the floor. Select the gate of passing, tap More, Physics, Add Motor, Motion 1. Set the motion time to 0.1, the Y velocity to 0, and the Z velocity to 2000. Set the start event to correct for Question 1. Position the destination of the gate of passing to the second level, slightly above the floor. With this setup, when players answer correctly, the gate of passing will rise and touch the players, who will then be transported to the destination on the second level. However, currently, there is no reaction when the answer is incorrect. Therefore, we can create a pop-up window that appears automatically when an incorrect answer is given. Tap on More, Edit Interface, Images, Icon, tap to place a square. After scaling the square to the appropriate size, tap Text, then drag text into the center of the square, and enter the text, Wrong Answer. Please re-enter the quiz area to continue. Let's add a close button to this pop-up window. Tap Image, Button, find the Exit button, and drag it to the top right corner of the pop-up window. Next, let's add some logic to the pop-up window. Please tap on the square, text, and exit button to access their more. The first step is to turn off their default display. The second step is to set their event to show UI to wrong answer. Now, when players answer incorrectly, we also need to tap on the Exit button's More event, and set its click event to close prompt, and similarly set the event to hide UIT for the square, text, and Exit button to close prompt. At this point, when you enter the demo, you'll find that the first floor is already complete. We now need to design the other floors. Let's continue with the second floor as an example and explain the design method for the other floors. The design method for the second floor is almost identical to the first. You can simply tap Multi-Select to select the recently placed password lock, trigger area, and gate of passing, then tap Group and tap Copy. Next, move the newly copied group to the appropriate position, and then tap Edit Group, Disassemble Group. However, after copying, we need to pay attention to 4 specific changes. 1. Change the question on the billboard for the second floor to the second question, which is what is 2 times 6. 2. Adjust event names based on the floor level. For example, the password lock, trigger event and input correct event should be renamed to Question 2 and correct for Question 2, respectively, and the password should be updated to the correct answer for the second question. 12. 3. Rename the event on area entry for the trigger area on the second floor to Question 2, and similarly for the third floor to Question 3, and so on. 4. Change the start event for the gate of passing on the second floor to correct for question 2. Finally, don't forget to position the destination of the gate of passing to a higher level above the second floor. Since this tutorial's map only has 3 floors, remember to place a clearance zone that covers the entire floor on the top level, the third floor. This way, when players reach the last floor, which is the third level of this map, they will automatically trigger the completion of the level. As you build your map, you can refer to the methods described above to construct more floors.